Hello friends, my name is OldManCloud. I upload daily Bazaar gameplay videos to my YouTube channel. We are playing as Pig today with the goated skin. Love this skin so much. Slowly getting to Legend. It's a slow climb in this game. You do have to play an awful lot, but I did look at my stats recently and I have a better 10 win rate percentage with Pig than I do with Vanessa actually. Possibly partly because I've just been spamming Weapons Vanessa a little bit this off camera this season, just because I think it's the most efficient way of leveling at the moment, or of getting towards Legend rank. Whereas Pig, I'm sitting at about a 30% 10 win rate, which I think is pretty decent. So I'm winning more with Pig, but Pig runs take a lot longer. But I also think I enjoy playing as Pig more, so at a certain point you've got to take into account your own enjoyment. And Pig runs, I think, tend to have a little bit more variety, potentially, which is important in terms of keeping the channel fresh as well. So we are jumping into a Pig run. And I have my cup of coffee, most importantly. So all is good with the world. Looking for Scarf here. No luck, but that's okay. I've had a few Scarf runs lately, so very happy to have something a little different. This item I know can be amazing. Cures, I think. Don't know how to pronounce it, but I know it can be very good after the buff. So my understanding, and I haven't had a run with it at all, so now is potentially a good time to give it a shot. My understanding is you just grab it early and then look to buy, sell cheap properties, which I feel like there's not many of, but I know it must work because I've seen a lot of people playing with this in late game Pig builds. Cargo shorts are a good early item, as is bushel. I guess you probably have to get your econ in really good order just because property tends to be so expensive. That's my assumption anyway. I think this is the best build to run super defensive. And we'll eat at fins.
Bulk up, get solid. That's right.
I think we'll grab... Tempted to grab... I think I'm going to grab the regen actually, even though we've got the two healing items on the board. Early game regen's really nice. And up against a legendary Vanessa, anticipating some weapon spam. I feel like, yeah, if all you care about is getting to Legend, the way to do it is to just play weapon spam Vanessa. Oh my goodness, they got gold strength. Yeah, that's too much skill for me, I think. Although they're not scaling, so maybe we'll be okay. It will come down to timing, I think. But yeah, the way to rank up in this game at the moment is just to play super aggressive Vanessa builds all day, every day. It's pretty rare to go under 7 wins, I think, with them. And depending on how your late game plays out, you can get to 10 wins fairly often as well. I think my 10 win rate with Vanessa overall, so taking into account the closed and open beta seasons, is about 25%, so you can still do very well with Vanessa, but it's just so much faster, so much easier put together, so much more consistent. If all you care about is ranking up, that's the way to do it at the moment. But if you do that, you don't get to play with this Pig skin, so that is reason enough alone to play Pig, I think. Sure, we'll upgrade our shorts.
If that doesn't work out for you, come back for a refund.
Me when I'm clothes shopping. No properties anywhere. And we'll grab textiles, I think, to fit on the board now. So we're going for kind of a super defensive Pig early on. Hopefully transitioning, actually we'll keep scrap for the loot tag. Hopefully transitioning into a Kiwas build later on.
Have lived a lot less.
Don't really want to be buy-selling weapons. Let's just pick up left eye. It always has some utility in builds. And let's get more income. The more income we get, the more properties we're able to buy. And I'm pretty sure we can take Rogue Scrapper here with our defensive build. Can we take Rogue Scrapper with Boomerang? Maybe not. I wouldn't be as confident actually. Not only is it a worse item on the board, but it takes away tags from shorts. So I think what I'm going to do is take Rogue Scrapper with this build and forsake the one loot item from Boomerang. because I'd be relatively confident in this build getting us the dub, albeit taking a frustrating long period of time. Cargo shorts are a very strong early game item, but fall off pretty early and don't have great synergy with buy-sell builds, because they do require you to be filling up your stash to make the most of them. Sip of coffee. So at least we get the win here. So now if we keep a lookout for a way of grabbing one more XP, we'll hit level 3 today. That's the breakpoint with XP, is you need to take on Rogue Scrapper and find a way to get 1 extra XP on day 1 or day 2. This has no food tag and no tool tag, which just seems insane to me. These are all bad items, bad options, nothing we want to transform. I guess we'll just take Hero. Potentially some cheap property here. Not in this selection though. Anything we want for the tags? Not really. Shadowed Cloak also doesn't really work with what we're doing. This might just be a complete miss, I think. Which is a shame.
The Bazaar's half-buried junk. It's up to us to use it.
Do we have a toy? We do, the boomerang, so we can pick up our... Oh, we have food as well. So we can pick up our extra XP to get us to level 3 here. Not that it allows us to do too much with our board. I guess we'll play this on the board. It's so bad. I guess we might actually be better with the little granola bar. And, oh no, we can't even play the scrap for BM. We have to put it like this. Let's hope we get a decent bronze tier item we can put on the board. Sure, it's better than nothing. And we want crit chance on shorts. And up against level 2 Vanessa, so hopefully it's a weapon spam Vanessa that we match up pretty well against, as opposed to a poison Vanessa that we have a hard time with. It's a little bit of both. Oh, you hate to see that. Icy Catfish. They took the enchanted start, I'm guessing. But we do have a lot of heal. I'm not concerned about the damage output, especially the cannon's out of ammo early on. The concern really is the poison. But I feel like with the amount we're healing, we're a decent chance of making our way through this with a win. And any early win with Pig is very, very valuable. Although they really are stacking up the poison, we're going to have to hope we get good timing with the heals. I don't think we're going to get good enough timing. They've stacked up the poison like crazy. Come on, heals! Heal! Oh, we just get there! Well, you are. I think that was potentially a bit fortuitous, but we take those. 2 early wins as Pig. Kind of a bit of a plan in terms of property scaling, especially now that we can upgrade our... I'm just going to call them luxury. We can upgrade our luxury to avoid the embarrassment of continually mispronouncing it, especially if it's going to be a common item throughout the whole run. So upgrade luxury. And none of these are going to have... Still no options for property scaling, really. Let's just have a look at small items. These are all good small items. Not really. We'll grab you for the tag for shorts. But that's about it, I think.
Excellent choice.
Shorts have a limited use by date for sure. And I'm pretty sure we can take... the Hoover Bike Hooligan. Still not sure whether that's a typo or not. Pretty sure we can take the Hoover Bike Hooligan, even though they scale a little bit. They also run out of steam a little bit with ammo, and we just have so much heal and shield here. I think this should be okay. It's maybe a little bit tight, maybe a little bit risky, but you gotta live a little. You gotta live a little playing the Bazaar. That being said, I'll be devastated if we lose and the run is pretty much over. But now that they've run out of ammo, they're really down to scaling with the weak point detector. And I think we should be okay with our shield. Again, it's going to come down to timing a little bit. Shorts one time. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we're living on the edge. We're really living on the edge lately. But ultimately, we picked good fights. So hopefully that puts us in a pretty good position. Economic items can be properties.
Hello, my friend.
Boomerang upgrade's not bad, sure.
I bid you farewell.
You're a property. I said you're a property. So we need to get rid of some stuff. You're gone. Keep you for the loot tag, keep you for the tool tag, friend tag. Don't need you, so we actually can sell you. And then we need you for the weapon and tool tag, which means we don't need this, although it kind of has synergy, especially if we get some freezes. But at bronze, I'm not too worried about that. So keep it like this, grab the fixer-upper, which is a property, and we want to grab the rewards card as well to scale the fixer-upper. Something like this. It only gains value when we sell a property. So the fixer-upper won't actually be scaling it for the time being, but it's probably a good thing to have anyway. And let's upgrade our rewards card, I think. I think we're pretty much giving up on today as a lost cause. But we have some decent scaling now. Feeling pretty good about where the build's at. Shorts are going to have to go soon just because they're taking up so much space of the stash. The board is starting to look a bit scuffed, to be honest, but freeze item has a good chance of being a property. Unlucky. Alright, don't fancy our chance against Dooley, and luxury still hasn't scaled at all, but it does gain value very quickly. Maybe we should be putting value from rewards card onto luxury. That's probably better, actually. Oh, you got rigged. You piece. You got rigged and you got the bugs. So we'll be losing this. Bug Dooley's still incredibly annoying, even after the nerfs. A good chance to have a sip of coffee. Poison actually not building up as fast as I was anticipating with Bug Dooley, so I think actually we may be alright. I may have complained too early. Kind of incredible that we've got 3 wins early on with Pig, especially with this build. I guess we haven't come across Mac, and I shouldn't be counting today as over. That's why. So we don't win. Should have stuck to my initial guns being correct. We don't get good timing there, but we got lucky with the previous wins, so certainly no complaints. So we probably do want to be building it like this, in which case do we just sell Fixer Upper? Maybe we'll hold on to it for the time being. So we want to be visiting merchants, although Mana Pass is always hard to pass up, but I think I'm going to take the merchant. We really want to start scaling this with rewards card. So we want to be selling properties. Robe is just an incredible item, which we want.
I can feel our energies resonating.
Is now the time. I think this is not a fixer-upper build, so I think you're gone. And then I think we can sell Landscraper as well. And it's I can see the appeal of it. The value gets up there very early on, doesn't it? We've spent through a lot of our money. Would really like to have a way to buy this. We need to make up 7 gold. I think the shorts are gone. It's just the easiest item to sell. They've done pretty well for us, but because we sell the shorts, we can also sell all this garbage. And that allows us to sell the gym. I can make an argument for keeping it, but I don't really want to be selling weapons as well as selling property. So I think this is fine. The new robe is really, really good. And let's visit another merchant, seeing as that's our win con now, is scaling our luxury. These all can work. We'd have to sell out of Boomerang. It's pretty early to get a pawn shop, and we are planning on selling. Hogwash can certainly work. I think I'd prefer to grab the pawn shop. And even if we decide it's not working, it'll have gotten us some value, because it'll have increased value and we can sell it for higher value. And it'll have gotten us increased value, and we'll get scaling from luxury for it when we sell it. So even though we're now playing a reduced board, I think our board's in a relatively good state. We want you like that. And I'm pretty sure we can take a Hexa because we don't have any small items for you to destroy. Which means you're going to have a hard time punching through our shield, I think. This, the buffed robe is just a really strong early to mid game item. Can pretty much carry you. But the build has kind of crystallized now, so at least we have a direction, and that's very much around scaling our luxury. And it looks like we're going to be fine. This enemy can be very nasty if you have small items on the board, less so if you don't. Interesting, but not for what we're doing. Love a skill that helps with our econ. Take a bit of regen, it's so minimal. I think I'd rather just take Peaceful Eye, get ourselves a bit of crit chance. Let's stick you there. Let's visit the vendor just for the scaling.
But I can help you finish.
You help us scale. I think Pawn Shot was short-lived. We'll take the scaling straight away. And we'll grab Pitchfork, which gives us 2 truffles. And let's visit another vendor, keep the scaling going. It's getting up to 36 burn already. And that's a good one just to have and hold in the bag. And I mean, we can bring it out on the board, but it's just so useless. So I think I'm just going to leave. The board is looking not great, to be honest, but I feel a bit better about our middle game. Don't think we bring the Pitchfork. Oh, I guess we may as well. No reason not to play the Pitchfork. Just got to remember to get rid of it. Alright, up against another level 5 pig. What has this pig been cooking? Square pig is definitely what we don't want to see. What are you? You hate to see, at least personally, I always hate to see a board that isn't full. Because I feel like any player playing a board that isn't full is usually playing something that they're very, very confident in. Maybe that's silly logic, because it could also mean that they've just gotten a bit unlucky and wish they could be playing a full board but aren't. But my experience is that non-full boards tend to absolutely cook you. And this one is literally cooking us with the burn. So even though we're putting on a lot of burn with our luxury, they're putting on more with Steam Ladle combined with the freeze, so they're going to get the win. So that's fine. We knew that was likely to happen. And haven't got a single build with this item yet in my Bazaar career. So, we don't have a property, so I don't get a second truff, which is a bit annoying. So it'd be fun to get it going here. We need better items for our board though, to say the least. And none of this is helping us with that. These are some dire choices. That must be a property at least. Why is Hot Springs not a property? What a jib. I guess we'll take Cinders, cool down, and crit.
Warms my rusty circuits to see that final.
Not the greatest use of money. And then let's keep the scaling going. That has to be good. It's a property as well. Temptation just to pivot to square pig, but let's resist that temptation. Let's try something a little different. For us at least. Don't think we can afford anything else including a reroll, so sure. This right side of the board is starting to look pretty scuffed. At least we get a bit of regen here. I'm pretty sure we can take Infernal Envoy. Even with your nasty early burn, we have shield to get around that. So we've been taking on relatively tough AI fights, so at least although we haven't been taking any extra fights, so maybe we are going to fall a little bit behind in NXP, but it shouldn't be too bad. And the burn is getting up there now. All we really need is luxury to go off twice, and that should be enough burn to hopefully get the job done over time, and then we just focus on surviving. That has to be a great pick. Yeah, that has to be a great get. So because of that, we're going to be getting rid of, I think, textiles. 7, 6, 7, 6.84, so we want it like this. And yeah, I just don't think textiles is really what we're looking for. I mean, it's just not a good enough item. Burn Claws, yeah. Fire Claws is a good get. Don't have buy-sell synergy. Just going to take a silver tier item and hope. That's the best we could possibly ask for. Thank you very much. Thank you, Reynad. Let's keep the scaling going.
Any good
Yeah, it's
friends
getting up there already. Oh, my old friend, the spiky shield. I don't think this is worth a reroll because we're not really looking to run any weapons, to be honest. And economic items have to be worth a look over skills, I would think.
Investment is building homes for
Definitely will be buy-selling money tree for the scaling.
And I am very
Would love to get 6 extra gold. How could we do that? Not really. We can't really do that, short of getting rid of Pitchfork and Signet Ring. Pitchfork isn't doing much for us, although we now have property. I think that's not worth it. So I think we now bring you down and play it like this. So I feel like we've improved the build a huge amount that day. That was a good day for us. Now we really need to be picking up some wins here. This isn't a super late game build like some other pig builds where you just rely on winning very late game. You really need to get some early to mid game wins as well. This is super aggro Vanessa with heavy hitting Langjon. So we're going to be relying on that survivability from Robe. And we also have Restorative Fireclaw healing quite a bit. That Langjon hits awfully hard. We burn awfully hard. We need to get in there before the next Langjon hit, I think. We do. I saw the animation from Langjon go off, but it had no crit chance anyway, so we were fine. Okay, so that's good. I think that means this build can certainly work. And we have 2 flex spots here. I'm honestly not too familiar with this build, so I don't know what items you look to add in here. I'm guessing you possibly try to implement some freezing as well, but we'll see. So we want to be scaling your value, and then we want to bring this down here.
Discounts for peace.
Too late for Scarf, Short's not interested, and Bootstraps at silver. Bootstraps. Are not what we're looking for either. Bushel upgrades, surely we're not going to be playing Bushel much longer. It has to go. It's not worth spending on the upgrade, I don't think. Let's have a look at tools. There must be some that would fit here. Pitchfork, all we're using you for is the truffles. I assume it upgrades the level of truffles that we get. Steam Ladle can certainly work. Maybe we pick you up for the bag. I don't think I'm going to spend that much money on the truffles, seeing as our econ isn't in a great spot. Let's hold on to the money. Can we take the Infernal? It would be a great one. I feel like he's actually kind of slow, right? But we're also kind of slow. Kind of slow. We have a bit of shielding, a lot of healing. Bit of regen, but we are slow. I think we can't risk it, as tempting as it is. Yeah, maybe we could have taken that, but I've been flying by the seat of my pants a little bit with the AI fights, so let's not risk losing this one. I'm guessing that Cold Room would be a good addition to this build. We want to upgrade. What do we want to upgrade? Probably our rewards pass for better scaling. Our rewards card, I should say, sorry. Or maybe our Restorative Fireclaw, actually. This is doing work for us. Yeah, let's upgrade our Restorative Fireclaw. It's also an item you don't get to play too much as with Pig. And that upgrades it quite a bit, so that's quite juicy now. Love to see free property. We forsake scaling from rewards card, but I think it's worth it. And we get Cold Room, so I think we'll be playing you over Bushel, which shouldn't have been on the board, to be honest. At today's, at this time of the match, not really interested in small. Let's have a look at a tool, I suppose. That's not what we want to see. Okay, so again, feel like we improved a fair bit. This is a scary, scary sight though. I think this is right. Cold Room and They'll be our fastest 2 items, I think. Tempting to play Steam Ladle, but I think this is the best board we can put together for the time being. And let's see how we go against Legend Drum Pig. Our skin mogs their skin though, so we've got that going for us. They are a weapon Javelian Drum Pig, yeah. So this plus Yo-Yo is going to get pretty scary. They're going to be hitting for a lot, but we do have some survivability with Cauldron that we're very much relying on. Hold? Not holding. That's way too strong. Super strong mid-game pig build with a gold Javelian Drum. So that is a shame to see. We really now want to see slower builds. In fact, we wouldn't even mind going up against Mac. Sell and sell. And then let's have a look at mediums.
If I don't have what you need, I'll help you find who does.
Ledger, I just can't, I'm going to be completely honest, I just can't be bothered. It's going to make the run so long. It is possibly the correct thing to do. Balcony only works for properties, which luxury is not, which is a shame. And same with stained glass windows, so even though there's nice scaling here. Tempting to grab balcony. Nah, don't think so.
See that mountain? That's home.
And yeah, let's try to find an item.
Surface of the outlands.
Tempting to just grab the property for the scaling, but let's try to find something a bit better. I mean, that's an interesting chap. Heal or gain regen. This heals and gains regen every time we burn. But we burn relatively rarely. We're a heavy hitter burner rather than constantly burning. It only goes off once every 7 seconds. So I actually don't think that works. Maybe we just grab. Sword Cane, my understanding, having not played much Mac, is that it's an early game item, not a mid to late game item. So it probably wouldn't work well, even though we could get it popping off in all regards. I think I'm just going to take the property for the scaling and a bit of gold. I wonder whether those were the right calls. Think we can take Shock Trooper? You scale pretty scarily. Also think I kind of am at the point where I want to be taking a bit of a risk. So let's try. Definitely a chance we lose this with how fast plasma rifle scales. But we put on the burn pretty heavily. And I think we can survive probably 2 or 3 hits. Hopefully. Come on. Come on. Okay, good. We wouldn't have survived another hit. But we do take the win. That is a strong weapon in a heavy build, burn build like that. Bit of burn, but not what we're looking for. We really need something to get Robe off the pitch. Has no business still being out here. Phenomenal item, but not at this stage of the game.
I do not teach. I help you discover for yourself.
That's not good for us. Bit more extra heals. I think we grab this and put it on our sauna. So now every time we burn, we're healing for a fair bit. I think that was actually quite nice for us. And then let's try to take an extra fight for a bit more XP. That's a good get. Let's play Robe. Okay. And I guess we want to put our enchant on luxury. I imagine some of the enchants could be pretty strong. We've scaled it relatively well, nothing crazy. We do pile on the burn very, very quickly. But then the survivability we have comes through healing rather than shield, which can be a bit tricky, especially against weapon builds. So I think we're in the hands of Iron Jesus a little bit here, in that we want to get matchups that are favourable for us. We're particularly reliant on that, even more so than usual, I think. Gotta be property items for some scaling. We've got the money. We will be bought, sold. And let's keep an eye out for something we actually want to play. Too late for Money Tree. What about Landscraper? Don't think so. We don't have any other shield items, but I will buy Salad, even though it's expensive. This is where saving up some money pays off. Snow Globe, I think we're going to be playing in place of Robe. You've served us well, but you're gone. We'll definitely be selling land, Fixer Upper.
You won't see me say no
And we'll definitely be buying snow globes. So the question now is, do we try to find a way to afford lemonade stand? I don't think so. It doesn't really, we're not playing a health scaling build. We're not going to be putting our enchant on it. And we'd have to make sacrifices to get it, probably selling the rewards card. So I don't think that's what we want to do. And we want you to be adjacent to properties like this. Yeah, this build looks pretty good to me. Fair bit of freezing, survivability. The win con is burn. And the restorative fire claw is doing good work as well. So we can certainly get blown out by aggro pigs as we saw last time. Which this is. We got ourselves a square pig with no crook. Unlucky. Hasn't come across a crook yet. But with lethargy and strength. Interesting that they took lethargy in their build. I wonder whether that was worth or not for them. I guess they may have taken it before they fully knew what they were building towards. But I feel like lethargy hurts them more than it helps them. And certainly in this case, we take that one relatively easily, which is nice. So 1 to 4 wins. Build looking pretty good. If I see a giant ice club, I'm going to have to resist very hard to make the pivot. But I know that people might be a bit sick of the giant ice club builds. So I'll try my best, you have my word. Let's get some scaling going. I think I'm going to take you just because you're a merchant.
Poisonous liquid entropy.
Geez, that's a nice item.
Its role to play.
Imagine that in Square Pig. This shop is like Square Pig's dream. Not for us though. Even though we are kind of a Square Pig. I just noticed we're playing all square items pretty much. But we're not that Square Pig. Alright, let's take the Cosmic Rock. Sip of coffee. Wonder if we want to get this to diamond. I assume you do, even though it's scaling pretty nicely now. I guess with how expensive properties are, you really want to be getting the maximum possible value from the buy-sell.
You gotta know what you're fighting.
Property one time, never lucky. Great item though, but not for what we're doing. Pretty sure we can take on all comers here. You're a burn merchant. There has to be some good stuff that you have, right? On the other hand, I think it's just the skill actually, potentially. I think I'm going to go for Wandering Shoal. Just for the extra XP. I haven't done the math, but it might mean that we get to level 10 today. 2, 3, 4, I think it might just mean we get to level 10. Nothing here we're interested in. Yeah, the burn goes so quick, doesn't it? No wonder people are raving about this item. Especially added with restorative fire claws. Wonder whether we could make a case for upgrading that even. Sure, we'll take it. Not slowing at all. And then we'll make sure that we're scaling you.
My battle days are over. Bazaar
Just
is
for
now
the scaling.
kind to the weaponless.
And nothing we want to upgrade from bronze, so let's take a look at non-weapons.
Decide your
I
deathstress.
spy some properties.
Use
You're bought.
for the good
You're
of
gone.
all.
You're bought.
You are enough
I think you're gone.
but I'm
Yeah,
glad
you're gone.
you
You're
brought
gone?
this.
You're gone, right? Yeah, you're gone. And let's... Yeah, sure, let's reroll. Yeah, the burn is getting nasty. Alright. Gold Ledger. Gold Ledger is kind of telling me I have to play Ledger, right? 8 value. It's still only equivalent to 1 property on this scaling. Also, there's also Loop, which has great synergy. Don't think I'd be able to afford them both. I just can't be bothered. Ledger is possibly the play here, but I don't want this run to be an hour and a half. We missed there. And it's possibly not the play with how... Yeah, it's possibly not the play with Luxury because it scales so well through buy-sell properties as opposed to just mass buy-selling. So I'm going to make my peace with not doing Ledger shenanigans. I don't want to shield enchant unless I want the shield enchant on Fire Claws and put the next enchant on you. Because I'd really prefer an aggressive enchant here. Do I put shield on restorative fire claws for survivability? Because we could also completely whiff. So I think what I'm going to do is put shield on here, which I'm assuming will give you 1230 shield. Oh my god, it was restorative! I hate my life! For some reason, I've always thought this item was called Restorative Fire Claws. It didn't even register to me that I was overriding the enchant. What an idiot. Ah, just completely missed, completely didn't register with me. Obviously a huge misplay, and we should have just taken another enchant, but oh well. Oh well. You could make a case for shielding being better. Sure, let's cope and say that shield is actually better than restorative here, which it definitely is. But it's not worth forsaking that enchant on something else. Hopefully the run just falls apart and I don't upload it, because that is embarrassing. Oh well. Would have been much better sticking an enchant on our luxury, but it is what it is. Let's try not to think about that. Our next enchant will be going on luxury. We would love to see obsidian, burn, shiny, poison. There's a lot of good stuff.
I would spar with you, but this
Oh,
blade-
that's a phenomenal item for a square pig.
long enough to
I've seen all the shops for square pigs.
I'm a people person. And
We'll take Cauldron upgrade.
Sad to say goodbye.
You're a property. We could afford you by selling Pitchfork. Don't think it's worth it though. Hold on to Pitchfork, I think. Oh, I feel like the wind has just gone out of my sails with that mistake. What a stupid mistake. Anyway, can't get too caught up on it. Roaming Isle? Maybe should have just passed it off as deliberate. Obviously deliberate. Overriding a heal enchant with shield is just a no-brainer in that situation, I think. We're still in a pretty decent place here though. We've made ourselves more susceptible to poison, but we still have some heal coming from Sauna and some regen coming from Sauna. Actually a decent amount of regen coming from Sauna, which helps us against poison a little bit. Let's have a look here. Small, large, sure.
The Grand Society of Master Merchants welcomes you.
Oh boy. The temptation to just go full freeze.
Happy to exploit you. I mean, help you.
Yeah, I'm going to resist the temptation.
Profit you.
There's a case to be made for holding on to that in the hopes of finding an ice claw. An ice club, sorry, because they synergize so well together, but I'm going to resist. Would love to afford ice cream truck, which means selling steam ladle, which I'm fine with. Just for the scaling. Oh, I thought you were a property for some reason. Oh, the misplays are coming in thick and fast. How embarrassing. Anyway, let's get back to our board.
The people of Jabalia could learn much from this place. I know.
Decent. No. No. Don't want to afford the reroll, so let's just take some more healing.
Teach Jabalia life skills.
More scaling, I suppose.
Reward
Even though we don't have much money to spend.
punish
Some good
the
stuff here.
war.
Aurora Dome can work really well, I'm aware. Doesn't really work with what we're doing. Although it's a cheap property to buy. Do we cash out of our rewards card here? I think it may be a good idea to cash out rewards card here because it enables some
I can
nice
feel
buy
our
selling,
energies resonating.
and I think ultimately that'll be more beneficial than holding on to it. Okay. So we really do need an enchant to stick on our luxury. Mac, unsure how to feel about that now that we got rid of the healing. Probably bad. It's probably bad now we got rid of the healing because we made ourselves extremely susceptible to poison. You overrode an enchant as well potentially, and you're freezing. This guy's got some great enchants. A lot of things are happening. You don't have enough to survive that, brother. That was a lot of burn very, very quickly. Can't believe I just didn't even think about overriding restorative. Oh well, maybe if we get to 10 it can be proof that you don't need to be good at the game to get to 10. Let's have a look at Curio. Sure, there's some items you sell that could help us. That's one of them.
Hooey! Now that's a bargain.
And I'm gonna re-roll. Pretty sure you have some cheap properties. None of these though. Just take that.
That's been sitting there 20 years, waiting for you.
So much burn. Crazy amounts of burn on our shielded Fireclaw. Not restorative Fireclaw.
The Bazaar's a crazy place, right?
Nothing there. And tempting to hold, but not going to. You're a buy-seller.
So, how about this weather where... Oh, you need
Up to 200 burn. Well, we were. Probably does scale a little too fast, huh? Void Colossus, I feel like we should be able to take. Because I feel like we're going to get in at least one use of each of these items before he destroys anything. And that should be enough to win off the back of that, I think, regardless of which one he destroys. It's just so much burn, so early. And we actually had a nice little freeze. He destroys Fireclaws, but yeah, the burn is just too high. Too much burn, brother. We are pretty nasty.
Seem like a nice person. Maybe too nice.
Oh. What do we do about this situation? It's so tempting to make this run work. Because it's so rare to get it, obviously. But I just don't see how it works with what we're doing. We can't get rid of the 2 left items. And it just doesn't work, unfortunately. I'll take the money. It just doesn't work. Would love to have made that work, but you just can't. I'll take the bit extra money here. Skill upgrades, we don't have any good skills really, but the other ones aren't particularly appealing either. Let's just take the extra 15 heal, I suppose. Every time we burn, it's not nothing. Can make a case for all of these. I'm gonna try medium and large, given that pick skills tend to be pretty underwhelming. These are not what we were looking for. Not sure what I was looking for, but always got to try the shipment. Properties.
On behalf of the Grand
Okay, let's think
Society
about
of
hot springs for a second.
Mr.
Not interested in you.
Anyway, thanks.
First time we will freeze all other items. That's amazing for us because it just slows the fight down, which we love. It gets charged by freezing, which we're doing an awful lot of. The burn is a bit irrelevant. How do we fit this in, if at all? I guess Snow Globe, you put in over Snow Globe? Although Snow Globe is kind of doing work, and then you have to get rid of Sauna as well, which is also kind of helping us. Oddly enough, I don't think this can work. Because the left 2 items can't go. I don't think Cauldron can go. Oh, it's so good though. Let's keep it... I kind of don't want to keep it in the bag though, because I want to sell it for the buff. So if we're playing it, I think you almost have to play it over Shielded Fireclaw. I don't think we can play it. Don't think we can play it. Let's see how we go. Feel so long as it's not a 1-tap, and as long as we get a swing in with our burn items, we should be fine.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Looks pretty aggro. That shark is terrifying. It's going to be getting a lot of haste from your card room or your saloon. But we're going to be burning a lot, brother. We're going to be burning an awful lot. I love that shield. That's great.
Next
Yeah,
time,
no worries.
boys, less blunder, more plunder.
I'm starting to come around to this being an extremely strong item. This luxury item. Combined with our lucky Fireclaw get. And I'm feeling pretty good.
Come with no weapons, leave with big.
It's only tempting.
weapons.
But there's relatively few days left. Just don't think it's right. There's some properties though.
That for the good of
Great
all.
scaling for us.
I'm so glad we could share this.
It's still got an enchant to come over here, which could be really, really strong. Although at the moment, the concern is getting it to go off once. I think if it goes off once, we pretty much guaranteed win. As long as we then survive a little bit. So reducing its cooldown is really strong. And some freeze items is really, really strong. I think we can take Voidy. You're going to destroy an item off rip, regardless of which item it is. Although if you destroy Luxury, you then lose all your burn. I wasn't taking that into account. So I think we're probably a 1 out of 5 to lose this. I like those odds. Oh, and I was getting confused with the other one. You're not Caltrops. You're not the Caltrops fellow. So he should be fine. Yeah, so much burn. Imagine a fiery enchant here. Oh, baby. And I think we're going to upgrade it, even though arguably it doesn't really need the further scaling, because we pretty much win if it goes off once. But it's just it's too good to pass up, isn't it? I think it is just too good to pass up. And it also scales Fire Claw. Not super interested in skill upgrades, but again, the other vendors aren't particularly inspiring either. Let's take more crit. And we'll definitely be risking some coin.
The Bazaar is more.
Didn't improve much today so far, but here's a chance to pick up something useful. Bit late. Bit late. I don't think I've seen this before. Interesting, but not really what we're doing. I'm gonna roll. Oh, baby! I don't even have to look at the others. And again, there's a case that it actually doesn't help that much, because we almost insta-win when it goes off anyway. But that's just too good to pass up, isn't it? That's an amazing get. So now we really do just need to make sure you go off once. This is a pretty nasty build. But hopefully Cold Room will give us some survivability. And then, yeah, look at that burn. Oh, goodness. That is nasty. Part of me almost hopes that I fall below... I fall to lethal so that we can put an enchant on it. Although I'd also happily just take a normal 10 wins. Burn items has to be good for us, right?
May the first fire shine.
We'll take that.
Farewell.
You're cool. But not for us. And none of these. That bird looks badass though. So this means I'm going to have to upload this run, I think, with this incredibly embarrassing misplay. Oh well. Gotta keep me honest. Happens to all of us. Nothing there. Oh, I should have grabbed the hatchet for truffles, but whatever. And we'll take Octopus, just for the XP. Just push that XP advantage. Retooled is such an incredible skill to get with this luxury item. Especially if we can get an enchant on it. So yeah, the right side of the board is really just survivability, because all we really care about is having our left 2 items go off once and we win. And freeze is pretty good survivability. Well, we're about as far off from using hyperfocus as we possibly could be. I think we're at the point where we take loot now. That's a great one. And let's visit Curio for potentially some cheap properties. Nothing here. That's what we want. That's what we want, and the rest we don't care about. Well, Crusher Claw is kind of fun with Fire Claw. The Claw synergy. Down to less than 6 seconds, you love to see it. I think let's go digging. In the hopes, oh, that's cool. In the hopes that at the very least we can find a property. Gee, some interesting stuff here, but none of it really works. Try not to spend through all our money. But at the very least, I'd like a property. That's a property. Sure.
That.
How many balconies have we seen this run?
The Cretaceous era?
Have to match up well against Vanessa. Maybe an level 16 though. An early elemental depth charge I'm worried about. A boulder I'm worried about if it goes quickly.
We're out to dethrone
But
a king,
against
not to
pretty much
slough
anything else,
nobody.
you're slower. Do you have shot glasses? You don't have shot glasses, but you do have a diamond pylon, which is pretty nasty. But I'm hoping our survivability from freezing. I'd love to get that shield going, brother. Hit me with the shield. Thank you. That should be fine now. Maybe? Yes. Scary build. Super strong build. But they really need shot glasses. And they don't have it. Cool to see Jite continue my trend of terrible pronunciation. Cool to see that item working. Look, there's a real temptation to go with a defensive item here, but it's just too cool to go with Diamond Fireclaw, and it helps with the defense a bit by buffing the shield as well. I wonder whether the overriding the restorative enchant was actually right. I'm trying to justify it after the fact, but I really do feel like the shield is far better defense. Anyway, what's done is done. At the moment, we really are just looking for properties to buy, sell. There's not too much else that we're fussed about. Definitely take XP. Definitely take Arkan.
You must not.
Although Property Baron could have given us a property, but I think I'd rather take the XP. The ring doesn't quite help us with the breakpoint. We still would drop to lethal. Yeah, wow.
Many enemies.
Just all we did was really get this item early and focus on scaling it. We did get a bit lucky with a couple of early wins, which is kind of all the difference here. Imagine if we won 2 fewer wins and faced with having to go into the late game. So it really does show what or the very late game, I should say. Really does show what a difference early wins make.
After all those years in my class, you must already know everything.
These don't look promising. Charging Sauna, don't really care about it. So I'll just take some survivability.
Risk, danger.
That's a
This is
great
what
one.
we were missing back home.
We'll be buy selling the lot, brother.
It's good to know who has means in this town.
Oh, it's up to 300 with multicast. That is a disgusting amount of burn. That's a Mac level amount of burn. And then some.
No one can
Windmill, I'm sure, can work. I haven't seen it work on too many builds myself.
serious.
I mean, we can't afford it now, but yeah, I'm sure there's ways of building around that. But I'm pretty set with the board we've got, to be honest.
Small items, small people.
You are not property, as I discovered. You are.
I'll show you those stumps back home. I'm gonna be a business tree.
You're interesting, but no. This is such a weird item. I don't think I've ever seen that work. Would love to see it work. Alright, and let's go for 10. Up against Dooley. Dooley with intimidating skin Dooley.
Big for you to sting.
Definitely don't want to see freeze bug. It's lots of... Oh, it's the dream. He's got the bug Exodia together. It's a matter of whether our burn item gets to go off once, which it has. I think we got a little lucky with the freezes then. But even with it going off once, we don't get in there. I don't think. Do we? No, nowhere near. Ah, it's so busted, this Spug Dooley. Even with the changes and stuff, it's busted. Anyway, at least it means we get to put it in enchant. I think I'm worried we very may well tap out at 9 here, because like I said before, this really isn't a super late game build. But at least we get to see, we don't want haste, so we're going to be going random. So what we're going to do is put random to override Shielded Fireclaw. No, we're gonna put this one on here. That's, it seems to always happen. I feel like that's definitely a bug. But that's a complete miss. We don't care about haste at all, so that's real shame. That's quite unlucky.
Everyone here is huge.
So that certainly doesn't help our chances of going to 10. Although I feel like they were already relatively low just because of how nasty the late game builds we're going to run into here are. I would give us 30% chance to win our last day, depending on who we come up against, obviously.
You're not getting hurt on purpose just to come see me. Why do my people live in forests? Those cities where the wounds are.
Interesting, but no, and we can't afford anything else. So yeah, we're just too slow for a super late game build. Voidy, you are the Caltrops fellow, so you do destroy an item immediately. I'm going to go after Property Baron in the hopes of getting a property to buy, sell. Or to just sell, in this case. What could have we done differently to get to 10? Not overriding the enchant, I suppose? I'm not sure if that would have even made a difference, to be honest. Sure, I'll take it, but it doesn't do anything for us.
If you're not growing, you're failing.
Loot. Sure, relative. It's funny how that would usually be so significant a buff, but in this case, it doesn't matter. Has to be curio.
Recycle. Relax.
None of this
That's
really.
been sitting there 20 years, waiting for
He
you.
does have cheap properties, right? Anyway, he has Salamander Hub, which is good for us, and Clockwork Blades, which is good for us. And why not a bit of extra heal?
Now that's a bar.
Doing everything we can to get across the line. Problem is our disruption also isn't that great. It's not terrible. We probably should have been upgrading our disruption rather than our aggression, but it's too fun to have these 2 diamond items.
Sometimes I sell stuff.
None of your properties. None of your properties. Ledger. I guess if I really cared about getting to 10 wins, I could have been playing Ledger, but not sure how much of a difference that would have made either. Alright, up against level 18 Vanessa. Likely to be elemental depth charge, but let's see how we go. Might also just be very angry Vanessa, which probably gets to us before we can use any of our
Go ahead.
items.
Underestimate me. It makes
Uh-oh.
this more fun.
That can't be good. It's a shield Vanessa. Shield burn Vanessa. We have a lot of shield ourselves, brother. And a lot of burn. You're going to use Eclipse, which is really annoying. I don't know how this one's going to go. We have so much burn. Come on, burn! Hooray! 10 wins. That was a worthy last opponent to come up against, but went really well for us. 10 wins with however you pronounce this item. This whole recording has honestly been a bit of a debacle. I don't know how to pronounce the main item that I've been using. I made a huge misplay in overriding enchant. This is the high quality gameplay that you come to this channel for. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed and certainly can't complain about a 10 win game in ranked. We continue our slow climb to legend. We'll get there. We'll get there sooner rather than later. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to those of you who are supporting this tiny little channel of mine. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it if you could subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.